afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Painted Dog TV. You guys have caught me just as I jumped off the vehicle. Myself and Basil are back out tracking the lions, everybody. And we got down to the area where we last saw the tracks, which is very, very close to Sequoia Dam. And I've just picked up the tracks again and just busy trying to figure out exactly where these lions have gone to, everyone. And it does look like they might have circled over the dam wall of this beautiful waterhole, because I don't see any of their tracks going up that way. Anyway, we'll circle back to the water, just have a look around there. But a very warm welcome to all of you that have joined us this afternoon. We're very excited to be out here with you at Painted Dog TV on the beautiful Rietspruit Game Reserve, and very excited to be tracking lions again. I hope all of you are having a wonderful day so far. Excuse me for a moment, I'm just going back because I've lost the lion's tracks. And I found them again. So it looks like they've just taken a game path that cuts the corner here and heads to the dam wall. So let's head that way, everybody. Just going to have a quick look again here. There's another game path that cuts across the road. There's one track of one lion heading towards the dam wall. Just want to make sure they didn't go across here. Nope. It must have gone over the dam wall. Basil and I had a quick look around the dam earlier and didn't see any lions. So they've come and gone from the water. I'm hoping they won't be too far, everybody. And I don't think they've managed to catch, well, they might have caught something to eat last night, but if they had, it was something small, because they have covered quite a lot of ground. Of course, if they'd caught a large animal, we probably would have found them by now, feeding on that carcass. But you never know, they might have caught something here today. How beautiful is this spot though, and this view. Very fond of this waterhole. Sequoia Dam. It is certainly quite a picture. All of the beautiful reflections in the water and the stunning Drakensberg Mountains as our backdrop. Whilst we enjoy this view, I'm just going to quickly greet all of our pack members that have joined us this afternoon. Good afternoon, Carol. Hello, Barbara. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Betty. Hello, Rosemary. Good afternoon, Ian. Hello, Brian. Welcome, everybody. Good to have you back with us. Now, for those of you that were with us this morning, you'll remember that we also had some fresh tracks of a female leopard in this area. So Basil and I raced out of camp little bit earlier so that we could get down here as soon as possible, because the light certainly is fading very fast these days, and we wanted to make the most of our time. So we shot down here as quickly as we could before we started our drive to catch up with the tracks of all the cats we had this morning. And on that note, everybody, our times are going to be changing. So we're going to be shifting our afternoon game drive just half an hour earlier, so that I don't have to race the sun, basically, and so that we can enjoy more of our sightings in the daylight hours. Right. If you can hear me, everybody, the lions went in here. I was just checking each of the game trails that lead away from the water. And it appears these lions went into thick block. I'll be back with you in just a moment, everybody. Just making sure that the lions weren't sleeping just the other side of the dam wall here, which they aren't. You probably would have seen a very different composure from me if they were. They're not sleeping just there. So the next obvious place to check from here is the fence line, the eastern fence line, which is very close actually. It's just 300 yards from here and you get the fence fence line. Well, maybe a bit further than that. Maybe 600-700 yards from here. So we're going to work our way around that way, everybody. See if we have any luck along the fence line, finding their tracks. Just keeping an eye out for tracks of that female leopard, everybody, whilst I'm working around this area. Lots of monkey tracks, kudu tracks, and inyala tracks. No leopard tracks here. We'll have to go back, I reckon, for the leopard. The last tracks we had before we came across the lion's tracks were about 3/4 of a mile behind me. So let's see if we can find the pride first, and then a bit later this evening we'll go work that area. Let's see if we have any luck with that leopard. Also on the lookout for any signs of black rhino. Not only because we love seeing black rhino, but also tomorrow is the day that we're going to dehorn said black rhino. Here's the leopard's tracks, everybody. She came down here. Jeez, doing laps around the property. I cannot confirm that it's definitely the same female leopard. But those are definitely female leopard's tracks. They look relatively good as well, from sometime last night, I would say. In fact, if you move a little bit further along Basil, you see the tracks where the Genet's tracks are on top. So if you have a look at this track here, everybody, this is the female leopard's track with Genet tracks on top of it. So these tiny little paw marks are the Genet. Now, Genet are almost strictly nocturnal animals. So it tells you that this leopard walked here before daybreak today. So fresh tracks, yes, sometime last night. But probably before sunrise today that leopard walked through here, because of those Genet tracks on top of hers. Good afternoon, Mary. Lovely to have you with us, my dear. And yes, indeed, that is definitely one of our favourite dams. I love that waterhole. Hello, Di. Hello, Guido. Good to have you guys with us. We're tracking the lions again. Obviously, just pointed out female leopard tracks as well. Did you see what ran across the road? Something just bolted across the road. Everybody, I just saw the back end of it. I think it was a duiker. It looked very Dacre-like. Right, so just about to come out on the fence line now. Try to figure out which direction these lines have gone. Have to guess that they've gone north. Doubt they would have come south. No tracks here, so they didn't go south. Very interesting. No line tracks yet, everybody. I would have thought for sure I would have seen them by now. Not seeing anybody moving up there. Just go slowly through the drainage line here. I might have eventually come out in the drainage line. What I'm really hoping though is that they're not sleeping in the drainage line, because if they are, we ain't going to be able to get to them. This block is near on impenetrable. No luck in there, everybody. Man, but is it beautiful up that drainage line. Such a beautiful area. Couple of good spots in there for a leopard to raise cubs, or a lioness. But no lioness tracks, no pride tracks. I went about 300 yards up the riverbed. Didn't see anything. So I'm going to circle round, back to the dam, back to the last tracks. Just see if we don't get lucky with them, perhaps coming out to the water. And just go have a closer look for their tracks there again. And you never know who might have now arrived at the waterhole. Some tracks here. So it does look like they've gone north. It's interesting though, I can only see tracks of what looks like one lioness. Might just mean that they were hunting here. Let's keep going a bit further north, everybody. Might find the rest of the pride coming out on the road eventually here. Just so that you guys don't think that I'm taking you all on a wild goose chase, I just wanted to show you one of the lioness's tracks here. You can see it brilliantly here in the softer substrate here of one of these lionesses that walked up the road here, folks. That's now two different individuals' tracks that I have seen on the road here. So at least two of these females have walked north from sometime this morning, I would guess. Because it looks like they're on top of the vehicle's tracks that came down the fence line here this morning. Are there any stations currently driving the eastern fence line of Blaubank? Looks like the whole pride is back together again here now on the road, everybody. You can see all of their tracks here quite nicely now. A couple of them walking up the road here. It hasn't been a particularly hot day, so you never know. They might have gone all the way up towards Kai and Lowveld along the eastern fence line here. I'm hoping that's not the case, of course. And that's why I was just now asking if anybody else was driving this fence line, whether any of the Kai and Lowveld guides had come this way and seen their tracks. It does look like someone might have driven over these tracks. The lines may have changed direction back here, everybody. I just need to have a look and see if that is the case and which direction exactly they're headed. again, everybody. I had a very close look at the tracks back there, and it looks like there's only 2 lionesses that came up this way. And one of them certainly went into this block. I'm not sure yet if all of them have come this far north, but we did have tracks of what looked like most of the pride earlier, so perhaps they have cut through here. Basically what we'll do now is we'll just circle the block and see if we can find the tracks again and see who else we might bump into. Are starting to lose the light already now, starting to fade pretty quickly. Just to remind everybody about the keyword for the week. The keyword this week is speed. And there's a really beautiful image of a cheetah up for grabs this week, folks. And of course, that's why we've chosen the keyword speed for the week. So if you want to get your hands on that photograph, please submit the keyword to Painted Dog TV. We'll send it off to you. Not seeing any further tracks of these lionesses. Just monkeys. So we are definitely going to have to circle the block. They must have cut through. So these lions have been zigzagging a lot. Since last night's tracks, there's been a lot of up and down, and that's because they're hunting. Now this is once again a massive block, and so we just got to hope that we might get more tracks on the other side, otherwise they might be still deep inside this area. But I suppose the good news is, it doesn't look like for now they've continued straight north to Kaya, which means we still have a chance of catching up with them tonight. We're going to turn away from the fence here, everybody. Sort of circle back. to look for the tracks of the pride. Just making sure they didn't come past this point as well. And that is the case. Or isn't the case, rather. They haven't come past yet. Whilst we stopped here, folks, I'm just going to quickly mark my territory and put on a jersey. It's definitely starting to get cold now. Beautiful sunset, beautiful sky this evening. Beautiful pinks again. Alrighty, off we go. I'm just thinking to myself now, if this pride is still hungry, they haven't caught anything today, they're almost certainly going to be on the move now. And so maybe we'll get lucky, catch them moving along this road. Mary, that same tree gets me every time, don't worry. Every time I stop there to scan along the fence line, I always make a double take at that tree. Who knows, maybe one day we'll get a leopard up there.
Over.
Getting pretty close now to the point along this road where, if the pride had continued, I would imagine they're going to come out somewhere here. Very close to this drainage line that I'm going to go through now. We've followed the pride hunting in this area before. Weeks ago they were hunting wildebeest in this area. approaching a big intersection up ahead here. Just going to switch off and listen here for a bit, but also have a quick look for tracks. If we don't have tracks here, I don't think we're going to find these lions tonight, everybody. I think they're still in this block behind us. Might get lucky and hear something. Yeah, it doesn't look like they've come out of this block. Beautiful calls of the dark-capped bulbuls. Having a good chat with each other before they settle in for the night. Besides those bulbuls, it's very quiet out here, and there are no tracks of those lions having emerged. This road I've taken now closes the block in case for some reason the lions have turned around, cut back. But regardless, everybody, I think what I'm going to do next is go search for leopard. I head back towards Sekoi Dam, the waterhole we were at earlier. And work along that beautiful drainage line back towards where I saw the last tracks this morning. Those very fresh tracks of that female leopard. Birds alarm calling here. Specifically fork-tailed drongos. Hoping it might have been an owl, but I don't see anything there. Just going to pause briefly again, everyone, here on the dam wall of this beautiful waterhole, just to scan around the edges and listen. just busy listening to baboons squabbling and chatting with each other. They must be in the top of these big trees on the far side of the Waterhole here. It's where they're going to sleep tonight. Crested francolins having their say.
I have a rhino bull at
None of these lions are vocalizing. Nor the leopards. Everybody's giving us a hard time tonight. Pagazung bichanswa. I'm not sure if all of you can hear the baboons. There's quite a lot of racket coming from the far side of the Waterhole there. It's a baboon's way of saying, good night dear, love you, see you in the morning. Yes, indeed, Mary. We are all preparing for voting day. It's a big day for South Africa tomorrow. Cannot wait to have my say tomorrow morning at some stage after the Black Rhino expedition. Alright guys, let's carry on. It's beautiful sitting here for 5 minutes. Haven't heard much, but always a treat here at this Waterhole. Now let's work our way along the drainage line that feeds this Waterhole and see if we get lucky with this leopard. Good afternoon, Liz. Lovely to have you with us. In a beautiful afternoon. Unsuccessful mission in tracking down the pride. Always fun nonetheless. And we're now going to try our luck for a leopard. And hopefully some of the other nocturnal species. It's always a great time of year to look for them now in winter. Who's that? The Daker? Yes, it is. Hello, little Daker. Just stuck its head up above the grass to see what I was. Looked a little bit taller than it usually does, that Daker. Yes, indeed, Betty. The news is going to be all about voting day here in South Africa. Very interested to see what will be the outcome, what coalitions might form, who gets the majority of the vote, and also which municipality will have which party throughout the country. Is also going to be quite interesting, quite key. Hopefully there will also be a very peaceful voting day. No intimidation, which does sometimes happen out here. We'll see. Ian, to answer your question about filming, yes, we will be doing some filming tomorrow, but it will not be live, however. But all of you that are interested will have access to that footage as soon as it becomes available. And Liz, to answer your question, why is this winter a good time for nocturnal species? The main reason for that is that, first of all, the bush really thins out this time of the year. So the bush is not as dense, and it's a lot easier for us to spot these usually rather small nocturnal creatures that ordinarily are almost impossible to see in the summer months when the grasses are all tall and dense and the bushes all, bushes and trees all have their leaves. Makes it a lot more difficult. But it's also that these nocturnal species do become active a little bit earlier in the evening when we are still out on our night drives, and therefore pick them up. Because a lot of it is not only about nightfall, but temperature as well. And in the summer months, it's still very hot. Even at sunset, still very, very hot. So a lot of these creatures will wait for it to cool down a bit more, so they usually get active around 8, 9 o'clock at night. And by then we're all at home, busy enjoying our supper and our wine and getting ready for bed. Ooh. Little nightjar on the road there. I was going to try and show you that beautiful little bird, but unfortunately I saw it a bit too late. It's flown off.
Standing well. Are you winning there? Yeah, it looks like buildings have moved off the road at the moment. But they just about 10 meters past their parking bay. But they are moving off slowly. I'll take copy of that.
So the elephants have been located today, everyone, this afternoon, on Leopard, in between the houses. They certainly have covered a lot of ground. Had fresh sign of them. Well, the signs I had this morning were from yesterday, but since yesterday afternoon they've missioned all the way north back up to Leopard, covering a lot of ground. Right, we have now reached the point of where I had the last tracks of this female leopard. She was walking down the road here, everybody, heading north, and presumably would have crossed the drainage line here. Hello Shannon, I see you've asked about my predictions for the voting. It's a tough one. So I think the ANC is probably going to get a big part of the votes. It's definitely the most supported party at the moment in our country. But I think the Democratic Alliance, or the DA party, will come a very, very close second. It's going to be interesting to see how close they come. And so if the ANC does win the majority of the votes, then Cyril Ramaphosa will most likely be president again for another term, which is okay for me. I don't mind Cyril Ramaphosa. I think he was pretty unlucky coming into power just as COVID hit. And I'd like to see if he can deliver on some of the things he's promising this country in his next term, if he does get it, which I think is most likely what's going to happen. But more importantly for us is what happens in terms of the different municipalities, the different provinces, and who's going to actually run the services, the schools, everything in the different parts of our country. Now, we are right here in Limpopo and Mpumalanga. These are critical provinces for South Africa that literally need rescuing in terms of education. And the ANC have been running these two provinces for a very long time and just don't deliver on anything in this area. So Yeah, it would be nice if that changed. Again, not sure if that's going to happen, because I think the majority of the voters in these two provinces are going to vote for ANC, the African National Congress. But you just never know. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully as many South Africans will vote as possible tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of change. But yeah, people need to vote and vote for change, basically. Because things are not all working very well in this country right now. I look forward to seeing what might happen and what could potentially become of this amazing country of ours. If it was led under the right leadership, it would probably be the best African country on the continent. It really has so much going for it. So we will see. Right. Now, we'd also like to see a leopard, please. Come on, leopard. Wherefore art thou? It's your time to shine. Just going to hop off the vehicle here quick, everyone, just to check this crossing of this riverbed, just to see if there's any tracks of this female. I want to see if she crossed here. Oh, hopefully she's not sitting in the riverbed. This is where the lions crossed last night, early this morning. Yeah, this would be a lovely place to put up that camera trap, but I don't see any good trees to put it in here. I wonder if this leopard didn't catch wind of these lions and change direction completely. It doesn't look like she's crossed through here, it's just the lion's tracks. That, of course, would have been the smart thing to do. If she'd picked up on their scent or heard them vocalizing, to very quickly change direction to avoid confrontation. Definitely doesn't look like she's come through here. Now, if you folks don't mind bearing with me for just 3 or 4 minutes, I am going to try erect our camera here. See that perfect stump that hangs over the riverbed there? That's where I want to put this camera trap. Just go back a bit so you guys can see the one I'm talking about. Can you get it there, Basil, or must I go forward? Right, I'll be right back, everybody. Let's quickly go set up this camera. This is a goodie, this spot right here, because we might even capture animals moving across the road. And capture whoever might be moving up and down the riverbed. It's going to be a little bit tricky getting that camera to sit nicely on that log, which is sitting at a 45-degree angle, but I'm going to give it a bash. Be quiet. Homeowners busy chatting about elephants in their driveway. Shame. Poor homeowners. Right. Let's make sure there's no leopard sneaking up on me. Whoopa. Right, that looks pretty good. Oh dear. It did look pretty good. Sorry everybody. Promise I won't be too much longer. There we are. All right, little camera. Capture us some wonderful things. Yeah, that's quite cool. you can see the camera. I think you can see the camera.
Yeah.
Where it is there, guys. Just. But you can see the log basically that it's sitting on just next to the bush there. And the camera is facing down towards the riverbed. So let's see. Maybe we'll get some good stuff here. Come back here. I think I'm next driving on Sunday, everybody. So we'll leave it here till Sunday. And then come and grab it. Hopefully we'll get some fun stuff. Ah, Ian. Just reading your comments now. Sounds like you've just spotted a large spotted genet at Camp Cam. And we just spoke about the small nocturnal creatures that come out now. Judging by your description, I would say it's either that or the African civet, depending on size. A genet is very low to the ground, standing only, you know, maybe 4 inches at its height. But a civet will be almost a foot in height above the ground at head height. So I don't know if that helps. They have slightly similar markings and coloration, but the civet is quite substantially larger than the genet. That's very special. That's cool. So happy to have Camp Cam active again. Thank you, VM. And also just cannot wait for our new systems to be in place so that we can have more of these cameras up, everybody. More of the waterholes around the reserve. Really looking forward to that. Can't promise a timeline, but it is in the pipeline. We are working on it. I say we, VM is working on it. Yeah, if it looked more like a raccoon, everybody, then it was definitely the African civet that's just come for a drink at camp. Such a beautiful animal. Takes me back to the amazing sighting we had a couple of weeks ago of the mother and her youngster busy stocking up on dung beetles before the winter. That was just unbelievable. I don't know if any of you with us tonight remember that sighting. 2 African civets, mom and youngster, munching away on dung beetles in a rhino midden. Could literally hear them crunching. Just non-stop. We sat and watched them for half an hour. Eventually we drove away without them even moving off. It was just the most incredible sighting of civet I've ever had in my life. Just amazing. They're not usually that calm, that close to the vehicles, but I think it was just that they knew that they needed to make good use of those dung beetles before they disappear as winter starts. Very, very special. Copy. Oh, Shannon, my pleasure. I'm the lucky one. I was there. Right place, right time. And to see it in front of my eyes like that, to hear those sounds, and to just appreciate the beauty of an animal that you very rarely get to see for as long as we did that night, is just so special. Very happy, Ian, that you got to see the civet in camp. That's a goodie. That's a lovely, lovely sighting. Copy. Just about to say, where are the owls tonight? Well, here's one right here, everybody. Hopefully it won't fly away. Spotted eagle owl. Oh man, that is so cool. Hello, you beautiful, beautiful creature. He's a little bit fluffed up tonight because of the cold. And what made me think of the owls is that last night after we wrapped up our drive, we drove along this very road and saw one of these guys, one of these spotted eagle owls that was flying off with its prey. And eventually we carried on driving and bumped into it again and spooked the owl, unfortunately, off of its kill, off of its prey, which turned out was a black-backed puffback, everybody, that this owl had captured and was busy feeding on. Absolutely amazing. That's a new record for me. I've never seen a spotted eagle owl feeding on a black-back puffback. And yeah, I found that truly fascinating. It was literally just nearby to where we are now. I wouldn't even be surprised if this is the same bird, the same spotted eagle owl that was feeding on that puffback last night. Well, clearly not full enough, because as you can see, he's doing his thing. Scanning the ground, looking for movement. Look at those pupils, how they're dilating in and out. Absolutely exquisite. I am very grateful for all the sightings we get of the spotted eagle owls here on Rietspruit. And also just that they're doing so well here, that they're thriving here and doing a fantastic job of controlling the rodent population. And quite clearly the black-back puffback population. Right, we're going to carry on, everybody. We've blinded that owl for long enough tonight. To be fair, they probably enjoy having the spotlight on because it lights up the whole area. Probably makes spotting movement of prey a lot easier for them in those moments. It's our pleasure, everybody. I'm glad you all had a good afternoon. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Always so beautiful out here. Have a good week, everybody. As I mentioned, I'm not going to see you for a little while. I'll see you all again on Sunday afternoon's pack drive. But I hope that you all have lots of fun, have a good week, a safe week, and stay tuned. More drives coming your way very soon. Obviously we are going to be working, hopefully trimming the horns of all of the black rhino tomorrow. I say all, there's 4 of them here on the reserve, but they are tough to get. Black rhino tend to hide out in very, very dense vegetation. So fingers crossed for the team. And yeah, really look forward to showing you all of that footage as soon as we've gone through it and made it look good, put all the good stuff together, and then we'll share it with you folks. Thanks again everybody for joining us. Have a marvelous end to your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.